cake?
That is cake.
Sad songs and waltzes on Summer Street.
That duet brought to you by Cake via the Five Live Bears. Hello, welcome to the program. It's been a few weeks. We're glad to be back with you. Shout out all the way to California to Jordan Smith. Let me know he's been listening to the program.
Nice.
Nationwide. Hopefully not just the best podcast in Louisville or Louisville's best podcast, but maybe even soon San Diego's best podcast.
And the
I
best.
thought you were going to say San Francisco with all the homeless people.
Jeez, Aaron.
You had to take it there, didn't you? You just had to go. We are the best. We are the most listened to podcast in the Marine Corps now.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I mean,
But I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Louisville's best podcast and also the United States Marine Corps' best podcast.
Yes, best wishes, Jordan Smith. We love you. We thank you.
Yes, we are so glad to be back. But a little bit of sad news. There's only 3 Bears tonight. We are down 2 Bears. Charlie couldn't be with us. I think he had prior obligations. And Brian is out doing what he loves to do more than anything, and that's throwing frisbees in the pouring down rain. Brian is at a frisbee golf tournament in. Are you ready for this, Aaron?
I'm so ready.
He's
ready.
He's in Bowling Green.
Wow.
Green.
Yeah, here it comes, the Bowling Green anthem.
Green. It's the greatest town on earth. Bowling Green.
John is envious. John is jealous.
I am jealous.
But before the podcast, we got a little glimpse into what he's dealing with, and it was like torrential downpour.
It literally looked like he was on Weather Channel in one of the hurricanes. I was just like, where's the guy? Where's the bald guy? The weather guy?
And this is how bad it was. He sent a selfie to his wife, and it looked like you. That's how bad. That's how bad.
That is terrible. That looks awful.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, welcome to the show. Thank you again for joining us and just allowing us to be a little bit part of your life. We're always thankful for that. But lots of big news going on. Avengers Endgame is next week. We'll be having a review of that probably a week after that, as we won't be together next week. But I have tickets opening night at Secret Cinemas. I'm getting literally like off work and going to the movies. It's going to be hype.
We didn't go that far. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
I knew we had a week. Between the time that we would see it and
I just
and
feel
be
like
able to record. So
I have to see it opening night, or it's going to get spoiled for me somewhere.
I am
somehow.
totally staying away from it. I in fact have, as of today, I have deleted my Facebook stuff. Aaron, you're gonna have to take over more of the Facebook stuff because I'm not on Facebook anymore, except to
John's on the Endgame
I'm
spoiler
on
bin.
Endgame and Star Wars. I'm gonna be on it to the end of the year. Plus, only thing I'm gonna be on to do is just to load the podcast and stuff like that. So Aaron's gonna have to take over some more of the responsibilities.
Oh yeah. Aaron, you got tickets yet for Endgame?
I've got tickets for the Saturday after it opens. Yeah.
Okay.
Saturday at noon.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think I'm gonna have that much trouble getting a seat. I just
Opening night, you will.
The Saturday, the theater I usually go to is like completely sold out. I had to go to a different theater, and it was either the noon showing or the 6:30 a.m. showing. Everything else was kind of sold out.
6:30 a.m.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Who goes to the
Dallas,
movie
Texas.
at 6:30 a.m.?
I don't think that's the norm. I just think they just kept adding
insane.
screens
That is
because it was
insane.
selling out so much.
But as big of news as Avengers Endgame is, there was another huge piece of news that came out this past week. We got a Star Wars trailer for the new Star Wars movie Episode 9. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Dun dun dun. Aaron, right off the bat, between 1 and 10, 1 being The Last Jedi, 10 being Empire Strikes Back, how excited are you based off the one trailer?
Probably sitting at a 9.
That's bold. He was
bold.
Totally bold on that.
Wow. John, what about you?
I'm right up there too. I'm right up there. I know that we have discussed the ideals and the art house feel that Star Wars: The Last Jedi brought to the table, and how incredible that was in my view. But I'm just going to be quite honest. I'm going to come out and just say this flat out. That movie's crap. Okay,
I got to tell you,
it's garbage.
Finally,
Aaron-
It is. It's
John
garbage.
has agreed with us.
I told Aaron I would give him 1 minute of rant time about The Last Jedi, Aaron. Real quick, Aaron, here's your 1 minute. Just go crazy. I'm watching the clock.
Last Jedi is 50% great, like really great movie, and then the rest is just crap. The chase scene is ridiculous. People just come and go from the chase as they please. The milking scene is stupid.
That's the best scene in the movie.
The whole build up about her parents, and then oh no, just kidding, which I guess they're gonna fix next movie. Rose, heroes don't sacrifice themselves, ignoring everything that Obi-Wan did. The whole going to the casino planet and the chase scene and all that having no point whatsoever because the hacker guy does nothing for them. And then the broom kid at the end, it's just all this crap. And then where the movie should have ended after Laura Dern, who should have been Leia, crashed the ship to the other ships, there's still like another 45 minutes of movie. And don't get me started on Luke's force hernia. That's the stupidest thing ever.
He's like,
All right, I think I'm done. I think if I go any further, my head will explode.
you still had
Aaron-
15 seconds.
Aaron, you forgot one of the biggest travesties of that movie. Admiral Akbar dying off scene.
Oh yeah, and Leia.
Off scene death.
I don't mind Leia surviving in space and using the Force, but it's just the way she looks, like she's flying around like Superman or whatever.
She's a space witch.
It just looks weird. It
Well,
just looks bad.
It wasn't even any fluid motion to it. It was just she's just stiff. She's
It
like,
was,
like
flying
here's what it
sideways.
reminded me of. It was like they took a picture of Leia and they cut it out, and there's like a string attached to it. No, like a straw attached to the bottom of it. They held it against a black backdrop and just moved it. That's what it looks like.
well, see, when I was there that night with all of us watching it, I was kind of in the mood, and I was like, "Oh, Force! Oh, she's using the Force." I was like, "Yes, Leia, go." Then I watched it again at home. I was like, "That's crap. That's the worst."
All
yeah.
right, so there is your 2 minutes of Last Jedi is crap.
It was so bad in my view at this point that the movie poster I have for Star Wars: The Last Jedi is in Korean. That way I don't even have to read the name.
John got a foreign Star Wars poster for it to go with his other ones.
That being said, it has the best lightsaber fight out of any of the movies.
It's true.
I don't know.
Ray and Kylo versus the Praetorian Guard or whatever is pretty solid.
I don't know. That lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul is pretty sick in episode
It's up
1.
there.
With the Duel
It's
of
up
the
there.
Fates playing in the
Yes,
background.
I mean,
it's good.
when he popped out that double-edged lightsaber, I about went nuts. It made me forget all about Jar Jar for about 10 seconds, so he came on the screen and did something stupid.
Hey, George Lucas came out this week and they asked him, who is your favorite Star Wars character? He said, Jar Jar Binks.
Well, it's because George Lucas has $4 billion to roll around in. He's like, watch this. I'm really going to screw with him. Jar Jar's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And the Star Wars then blew up. He's like, oh, Jar Jar.
Oh, all right. Let's get back to Rise of Skywalker for just a minute here, guys. I think we're all pretty excited. I think it was a very redeeming trailer. Let me just say this. Watching the trailer, what jumps out as your favorite part from the trailer? Aaron, favorite part?
I thought the trailer was okay. The part where she jumped over the pipe at the beginning was good.
I
And
did
it
think
was
the
like,
beginning of it was kind of like, what the heck?
Yeah, and
It
so I
looked
was
like
like,
North
okay,
by
okay.
Northwest.
But as soon as I can't remember what Luke says now, no one's ever really gone, and you hear Palpatine laugh, I lost it. So I was like, oh, this is it.
Spoiler, if you haven't
That's all I
watched this
needed.
trailer, they dropped the big hint. Not even a hint. Big like, hello, Emperor Palpatine is not dead in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know if we're going to have like a Jedi Sith ghost battle. I don't know what's
That
going
would be
on.
amazing. Him and Yoda.
Yeah. John, most exciting part of the trailer for you?
I'm going to go the other direction from you because you said you didn't really like the very first because North by Northwest. And I would agree to the point that when I saw the beginning of it and it first came on and they showed the desert scene, it was definitely, I think, JJ Abrams saying, okay, yeah, I'm taking this movie over again because it looked a lot like episode 7's opening trailer.
Yeah.
Just the desert scene, her standing there. And I was okay with it at first. I thought, okay, this is going to be all right. But when she does when when she does the force flip over the TIE fighter.
When she does the Alita Battle Angel flip, yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Putting that in there. Hashtag Alita.
Anyways, whatever you want to call it, the force flip over that. It made me really. I think it really made me realize that okay, that we can. I think, and I know we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but we can put kind of episode 8 behind us because it looked amazing.
Yeah.
I like that scene. I think the favorite though I got to go with is their seeing Lando Calrissian.
Lando was fantastic.
In the almost in the same costume he's wearing in Solo. Yeah,
laughing.
Him and Chewbacca together. That was really cool. I'm psyched because he should have been in episode 8.
He should have been Benicio del Toro's
yes,
character.
He should have done that. And even if he did the same thing he did in Empire Strikes
Betrayed
Back,
him.
where he betrayed him at the end, he's like, I had to save Han. They still not to save Han. Chewbacca could have been choking him again.
Save Finn.
Yeah, it could have been great if they just done that.
Yeah.
Of course, all the fanboys been like, that's just the Empire Strikes Back all over again.
Yeah.
But it'd been worth it. I'd like to have seen it. That was cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the ending with Palpatine, and I don't know if you've pieced this together, John, so I might be dropping a big spoiler on you, but do you know what planet they're on at the very end? It's not a planet. It's
the Death Star. In the background, there's a Death Star sitting there. Now, it took me like 5 viewings to realize because I looked down and thought, what are they doing? What are they looking at? Now, I didn't know what planet. I'm thinking they're on. I think it looks like they may be on Yavin.
Nope.
Or is it Endor?
It's Endor.
Are they back on Endor? Oh, that even makes it better. See, I didn't know that.
Yes,
I didn't know it was
sir.
Endor. I sat there and said, what in the world is that crescent thing up there? Because you could, but
I didn't catch it on the first viewing either.
Now here's my question because I didn't know it because I'm a geek and did all the Wikipedia stuff on the planets and stuff.
Yeah.
But what were they standing on a beach like in an ocean front?
It looks like there's some kind of ocean or huge body of water, which I'm putting on my nerd glasses. Somebody evidently says in the books that they talk about there's big bodies of water.
Okay,
on
so because that's the one thing that threw me off is because I'd always. Throughout everything, they'd always talked about Endor as being the forested moon of Endor. So I didn't realize that there was. Here we are, geek man. We were totally geeking out on this.
We are geeking out.
But large bodies of water, something I didn't know about.
Yeah.
But that even makes it better if it's Endor because I looked like Yavin. I was like, that could be Yavin, but then I don't remember any water being on Endor. So
I'm just telling you, if we're back at Endor, we better have some Ewoks, and I don't want the fanboy theory that all the nuclear fallout from the Death Star killed all the Ewoks. We better have Ewoks that are alive.
Death Star space station
and
smashed
amplified.
right down on top of that.
Shut your dirty mouth.
That tree village.
Shut your mouth.
Han Solo and them flew off, and Warwick, Wiki, Ewoks, and he's like,
they're gonna get to the Death Star. They're gonna pry back that door, and there's Palpatine laughing, just eating Ewoks, just like fried. Got Ewoks
like Chewbacca with the porgs.
Yeah, the porg. He'd be like, oh, hello. So
I think that the Ewoks are going to find like a reactor core or something from the Death Star, and they're going to worship it, and it's going to slowly kill them. So they get there, they're just like withered, dying.
They're all
Ewoks.
bald.
as long as they're there, there could be just a handful of them left. But it's just if I get to relive that moment from my childhood just one more time, it'll be.
Now
Ewok.
if it's Endor, the Ewoks are going to be there. This is JJ Abrams we're talking about. I mean, he is so. And in a good way. I don't mean this in a bad way. I like it. There's so much fan service with this type of stuff that they're going to be there. I mean, they've got to be there. That's just the way it has to be.
And so let's kind of tie that back to.
Hold on, real quick.
Aaron, go ahead.
There's another planet that it's unconfirmed. Of course, we don't know anything, but it's only on the screen for like 2 seconds. But it looks like they're flying through Cloud City. So that might be where
I did notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Lando's going to be lit in this movie. I'm just telling you, it's going to be awesome. He's going to have a Colt 45 propped up on the dashboard of the Falcon.
okay. This just came to me. Do you think he's going to be hitting on the Millennium Falcon? Because that's his old girlfriend.
That'd be great if they tied
he
that
walked
in.
And be like, hey, baby.
So
I'm
awesome.
back, baby.
It's good to be back. So tying this back to what John kind of said, this is a fan service. The Force Awakens was such a fan service to the original trilogy because it was in many ways a remake of the first Star Wars movie. In so many ways, it mirrored different things and that occurred there, and you could say that Rey was Luke and Finn was Han, and or Finn Finn was actually kind of Princess Leia, and Poe was Han Solo. So you could almost relate that back, and you got BB-8 kind of being the new R2-D2. It was such a love story almost to the original, Star Wars.
Love letter.
Yeah. And then you get The Last Jedi. In The Last Jedi,
which was a divorce notice.
The Last Jedi could have been a perfect remake of Empire Strikes Back if you would have done some of the things that everybody speculated about the gray Jedi and how at the very end it could have been this huge cliffhanger with Princess Leia dying and Luke left just empty-handed and broken, and Rey and Kylo have left together to start their own rebellion. There was so many different ways they could have gone with it, and they just absolutely butchered it.
Well, and that's the thing I think of, like you just said, that Luke Skywalker being broken is what would have been a perfect ending to that is if he didn't go back with Rey. Let's say he didn't get involved, and Leia had to sacrifice herself to beat the First Order in this, and then Rey goes back at the very end and tells him that she's dead. Because, and not even you did this, but he realizes this, and that strengthens his resolve to go and finish this.
Laura Dern's character that nobody had any tie to unless you were a huge book nerd that knew who she was nobody. Her sacrifice was not some emotional tying thing like Han Solo's was in The Force Awakens. She was nobody. If that would have been Princess Leia making that huge sacrifice instead of Laura Dern's character, that would have been amazing. That would have, even if the rest of the movie happened the way it happened and was crap, that right there would have been like this ultimate sacrifice that we had. The same with Han Solo, but instead, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passed away since the last movie was made, and that has probably thrown a wrench in things. But I don't know. Like, The Last Jedi was just it was such a letdown.
But it looks like we're going to get redeemed.
We are. So I say all that to say this. How much of The Last Jedi, and I'll start with Aaron, how much of The Last Jedi is JJ going to build off of, and how much is he just going to straight up ignore?
I think Broom Kid gets largely ignored. I think that what Kylo. Well, I've got some theories about Kylo telling Rey that your parents were trash or whatever he said to her, or that they're nobodies.
They were drunkards on Daytona Beach.
As Brian likes to put it.
Yeah.
It's either something really important or something else. I don't know are we gonna do theories tonight?
No. You don't have to do theories tonight. We'll wait on that. But just like, do you think he's gonna use a lot of it and just reshape it, or do you think he's gonna ignore a good portion of it?
I think the books that Rey took will be important. I mean, my problem with Last Jedi also is when the movie ends, it felt like the rebellion was gone. There was like nobody left, and it felt like the Empire had gotten, or whatever they're called, the New Order or whatever, had gotten decimated.
We're not talking theories, but I got one on that one. We'll see how he's going to tie that in. So.
Okay. Well, there will be a theory episode, which I'll take my headphones off for somewhere down the road. But John, let me ask you. Go ahead, Aaron.
Can we do this? Towards the end of the episode, we'll let you take your headphones off and be a John.
Yeah, me and Aaron will do our own podcast on it.
Like
the second
whole
half
discussion about like what does the title mean, Rise of the Skywalker, that type of thing.
Sure. We can do that a little bit later.
Yeah,
we got that.
I might keep my headphones on. Just don't go full spoiler.
We don't know any spoilers though. That's the whole point.
So, John, how much do you think he's going to ignore Last Jedi?
From the way the trailer looks and the way that Rian Johnson has talked about it, because he was like, well, if they want to just throw it all out, I'm good with that. They can just do whatever they want. So I think he's already been put on notice. Say, hey, we're going to be doing some different stuff with this. And it's just me. I mean, I have no way of actually confirming that, but it just seems like anytime you hear that type of lip speak, it just seems like that they got something's up. I think that he's going to throw the majority of it out. I think that he will fix the lineage thing because that has to be done. Now, whether or not that means that she is the Skywalker that rises, that could be something completely different. But I think that he's going to fix that lineage thing because that was a huge sticking point with people. Nobody liked that idea.
The one thing they are fixing is Kylo destroying his stupid helmet in
Yeah.
Last Jedi. He's putting back together the trailer. Obviously, that was something that they didn't want to happen. Because to me, at the end of Force Awakens, when Kylo got injured, I thought, oh, he's slowly becoming Darth Vader, and his suit's going to slowly start changing each movie to become more and more like Darth Vader. He's going to develop a breathing issue and all this stuff. And then the next movie, oh, he's fine, and he just smashes the helmet. And
Take off
like,
that
what?
ridiculous mask. I was like, what? No, that made him.
Oh, you just go back and wonder, like, who would, who were her parents if they hadn't changed anything, which they can still fix that. But also, you totally lost. I'm blanking on his name. The guy you just
Snoke.
You totally lost any mystery to Snoke. He was just a nobody.
I think that now that we have Palpatine come back, you're gonna find out he was a Palpatine puppet.
Could have been. I mean,
Now,
could be.
I think he's also going to go back, and I think he's going to fix this ideal of the rebellion or the resistance being destroyed. That's where my theory comes in. I think that you're going to see that. I think he will disavow anything to do with Stuttering Lando or Canto Bight or
Is
any of
Benicio
that.
del Toro? Is he in the movie, Aaron? Do you know?
I haven't heard.
I think he's going to make it. I mean, besides Luke's death, I think he's going to try to make it as seamless as going from Force Awakens to Rise of Skywalker as you can make it.
And that's what I think he's going to do too. I think this is going to be. I think the way he's going to envision, and I mean, I could be wrong. It could be complete. Hey, we loved it. We're going to do everything to keep it going. But I think what you're going to see here is his approach to it, and the way just by the trailer now. The way the trailer looks is he's approaching this almost as if this is The Last Jedi, a Star Wars story. And it's kind of like, it's not really going to be like episode 8. It's like episode 7.5. And now we're going to make episode 9.
It took place in between.
Yeah, it's there, but it's a drug-induced, it's a milk-induced coma nightmare is what it is. It's one of Luke's induced coma nightmares.
Yeah.
And so I think he's going to fix a lot of that stuff. And I think the thing about it is, and people complain about this. You see this on message boards and everything all the time. It's like, oh, well, he's just giving fan service. Well, that's what we fans want.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see the Rian Johnson art house, grindhouse.
And I don't,
Star Wars.
I don't mind at all for these new characters to be the new generation.
No, that's
characters.
Cool. That's fine.
Like I want them to be attached to Rey and Finn and Poe and all those people, and to phase out Han Solo and Leia and Luke. But I wanted it to be done in the right way. The way Han Solo goes out is perfect. He is going out as a father, making this ultimate sacrifice for his son, even if it's not the right sacrifice or whatever. He feels like he's taking this monumental step, and it's a very powerful scene.
Nothing ever kicked me in the face like a Star Wars fan is when Luke tossed his lightsaber over his shoulder in the very first scenes of The Last Jedi. That made me so angry as a fan, because it's like, all right, I see what you're doing here. Yeah, you don't want to have any part of the fanhood, and we get it. You want to do your own thing, but that's not Star Wars.
I think Mark Hamill hated it. I think
I think you could see it on his face.
Oh my jeez! I know he got told by Disney to shut up.
Yeah, all the pre-interviews he did. Yeah, you could tell he was not happy.
And to have him go out, as Aaron called it, as a sports hernia, where he exerted himself way too much or whatever. It just felt cheap. It wasn't the sacrificial Obi-Wan. It wasn't the passing of the torch from Yoda. It wasn't Darth Vader protecting his son. It wasn't even as heroic as one of the Ewoks jumping on a speeder bike and sacrificing himself. He literally projected himself so far that it killed him. I mean, that's what he did.
And only thing we missed was the sound effects. Just falls over. That's all it needed.
The depressing thing is he never left that planet. You see all the books and stuff where they had all these adventures and stuff, and then it's like, well, Luke built a temple and then he ran off and lived on this planet. Han became washed up and he died, and then Carrie Fisher's passed away, and it's like the story's over. And to me, I for years I was like, oh, what's Luke's future adventure's going to be? And it was like, oh, it's nothing.
Right. As a kid, you thought about, wow, what is Luke going to do with the next generation of Jedis? What's he going to be, this ultimate hero? He was the balance of the Force,
and that's why the expanded universe Luke is far better than the
than Hermit Luke.
Yeah, than Hermit Luke.
Oh my geez. Anyways,
so
go ahead.
I was going to say this real quick. one of the problems for Ryan Johnson is his movie kind of felt like a trilogy, and I don't mind like the whole movie was like one trilogy put into one movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind if he goes off and makes his own trilogy later. Fine, whatever. It'll
He
probably
ain't
be good.
making that. They're not going to let him near
I
that.
doubt it. But it seemed like, when they were doing Force Awakens, they kind of had an idea, but they were in a rush. So, they threw together the movie. And I think his name's Lawrence Kasdan, the writer. They had a plan. Okay, here's Rey's parentage. Here's this, that, whatever. And they gave it to Ryan Johnson. And he, from what I've heard, he just threw it in the trash.
And made his own movie.
And Colin Trevor was supposed to do episode 9, and he kept begging him, leave Luke alive. I want blah, blah, blah. And he ended up losing that argument. He ended up getting fired. And so now JJ Abrams is trying to pick up the pieces. And they were so desperate, they called in George Lucas for consulting to, should we bring Palpatine back, whatever, because Ryan Johnson had just blew up the plan bad by killing off Snoke and everything.
Yeah, you had to bring in Palpatine because
but
here's the
big question is, why did Disney and Lucasfilm allow him to do that?
Well, you said it in the past is because they got so much heat for Solo, because Solo was a train wreck being made that you just felt like if they had to go back and remake also The Last Jedi, that it would have just been such bad PR.
They had to remake Rogue One also. They had to bring in a guest director to redirect the last 40 minutes, and that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that the problem is Kathleen Kennedy and all them, they're trying to do too many things at one time. Instead of focusing and laying out a plan, they're just like, we got to get a movie out the door. We got stockholders waiting for this. We need a movie every year. Go, 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 go.
We're going to take a break here in a second.
Yeah, so okay. No, we got like 30 seconds left before we take a break. Aaron, I think that's all solid and good stuff there, and I think you really nailed it, and John as well. That I think final thought there is I think they're going to just seamlessly skip over The Last Jedi as much as they can with stuff that doesn't matter. So there's like 10% of Last Jedi that probably has to be addressed in the new movie, but the rest of it is just going to be like
her lineage has to be addressed. The new resistance has to be addressed. And I think that's pretty much it.
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, and Carrie Fisher's death.
Yeah.
Princess Leia's death has to be addressed. Those are the 3 things they got to do.
Yeah.
If they do those things and they have put together a good movie and they have Ewoks trying to get out from underneath the Death Star, I'll be happy.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a couple more Star Wars news. We're going to let Aaron and John spout off a little bit of theory talk, and then we'll call it a night. So this is the 5 Live Bears. We'll be right back.
This is where the commercial would be.
Yeah, you just heard from Sherry's Berries.
on that other podcast.
I am so glad that we are recording some of these again to put on YouTube, because it gives us that break in the middle, which leads to the 2 best parts of Louisville's Best Podcast. Number 1, John's homemade bumper music.
This one's amazing.
This one sounds straight out of like 3 Dog Nights or something like that.
Actually played that one. That was a good one.
And then the other best part of the podcast, where I say, welcome back. If you missed the first half of the podcast, please rewind about 30 minutes. You're going to love it.
And when Charlie finally listens to this, he's going to run his car off the road. He's like, stop that. That's ridiculous.
It's going to be like the scene from Billy Madison where the old Doyles run off the cliff and it's screaming. It's going to be Charlie just driving off the cliff going, no! Anyways, in the first half of the podcast...
But one thing we are missing this evening, though, on the couch is Brian's socks.
Brian's socks. And Charlie's just looks at me like... Sometimes it's really good, like, that's a good point, and other times it's like...
Well, and if you're watching the YouTube video, we're all on this side of the room tonight.
Yeah,
we should have brought Chewbacca over and set him down.
Bring him over there. Speaking of Chewbacca, we have been talking Star Wars. We talked all about the Rise of Skywalker's trailer, and that we're all excited, and we're all hoping that The Last Jedi gets largely ignored. So... Another piece of news that came out, there was a little bit of a teaser trailer for The Mandalorian, which is on Disney's new streaming service, which we'll talk about on the next pod, the streaming services. But we got some glimpses into The Mandalorian. They described it as it's going to take place after the Return of the Jedi films, before The Force Awakens. It's supposed to be 5 years after Return of the Jedi. The Mandalorian is going to be a gunslinging bounty hunter. and they
it's gonna be
showed
amazing.
some footage in the teaser trailer, and that suit looks awesome. It looks like it's going to be great. Pedro Pascal, I think is how you say it, is going to be the Mandalorian, and I know. I'll say this for Charlie: you can make fun of Game of Thrones and my watching and the incest and everything, but he was a great part in Game of Thrones. Played a role very well. Came to an unfortunate death. Spoiler alert there, but he's going to be the Mandalorian. John I can't say his name right. Favreau. Is going to be really kind of heading it up, and he did great with Iron Man and the Marvel series there. So really excited about that. Aaron, thoughts about the Mandalorian?
It looks really good. The footage they showed, and they're bringing in other directors like Waikiki. I cannot say his name, but the guy from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, they said he might be back for a new Thor movie. By the way, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks really good. I hope that they deal with Boba Fett in some way or form. If he shows up towards the end, or that's like a big mystery is, did he really die in the Sarlacc pit or something? Is this guy picking up his legacy? What is this?
Oh yeah, man. What if everybody thinks he is Boba Fett? That'd be pretty sweet.
Or Boba Fett shows up and he's like ticked off, and that's a war between these two Mandalorians, or whatever. Yeah. So
it looks really good. It really feels like almost like a Star Wars Western series. Instead it's gonna be all new characters. It looks really good. It shows him riding on one of those dewbacks that the stormtroopers were on.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff. John, thoughts about the Mandalorian?
I cannot remember being so hyped about a streaming show. And I mean, I was really a big fan of like Daredevil and all those when they were going to come out. But this, I'm looking at the footage. This is the first time I've seen it. I can't hear it, but I'm watching it, and it looks absolutely amazing.
That suit looks great.
The suit is incredible.
They almost took the shine of Captain Phasma's, but not to the extreme.
Yeah,
and put it on Boba Fett's suit.
Of course, you're not really going to see a lot here. It's kind of it's
more of a documentary type trailer.
Yeah. And it's not like the official teaser. This is something someone filmed off their phone when they showed it at the live celebration. So.
Yeah. So it looks good though. I mean, and it's funny to think about how when we were kids, we would have absolutely died for a live action Star Wars TV series. And of course, we never got anything like that. And now, we're getting that.
We got those Ewok movies, remember?
No, that's not a TV series.
The Witch of Endor, or whatever it was called.
Don't you talk bad about those Ewok movies, man.
Was that like
Sindel and Wicket
Teak.
and Teak and Wilford Brimley?
Wilford Brimley crash landed his Winnebago.
Noah. His name was Noah.
Yeah. Noah. He had the little fast guy that wasn't an Ewok. Aaron, what if Teak is in Rise of Skywalker?
That would make those canonical, or whatever you want to say, part of the canon.
Y'all are on crack.
Dude, what if there's this like really fast looking thing and they're like,
yeah, you don't have to know it's him. Just the blur will go, oh, there he is.
And Poe shoots him.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to say that's Teak you can just be like a wink, wink, nod, nod. What was that thing that just ran by? That was Teak.
And the Emperor's like, I would have eaten that.
I've been trying to catch that for 20 years.
No, this back to the Mandalorian here. I'm looking at it and I can't get over how good the suit looks. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
If it stands the truth and it is like a Star Wars type Western.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely great because that's the right way to do it. You put him in this position where he's a bounty hunter, and you can do villain of the week type episodes all the way out.
I mean, you could have him run into some kind of rogue Jedi or rogue Sith. There's so many awesome things in there. But anyways, so that looks good. And another thing we got was the Clone Wars trailer, which I admit I have not watched Clone Wars. So Aaron, I'll let you and John just go to town on this one.
It looks like they're going to, tell the rest of Ahsoka's story. That was Anakin's Padawan. I'll admit I did not see the Netflix episodes that they did, but I know that she left the Jedi Order. So this is kind of picking up where that left off. And we also saw Darth Maul in the trailer, which it's cool, but at the same time, like Darth Maul again, it feels like anytime they need a villain, they just throw Darth Maul in there, So
I'm still upset that it looks like we're not probably going to get a second Solo movie, and the fact that Darth Maul was teased at the end of the first one.
I watched all of the Clone War on Netflix, and I even watched the Netflix ones. The Netflix ones were okay. I mean, it was kind of like, well, yeah, we're just kind of finishing this up. It's going to be good, though. I mean, it's all good. Clone Wars actually, in my view, had some of the best battle scenes of anything that they put out in Star Wars. I'm talking about real big time, like army versus army type of military type battles. There was 1 or 2 episodes which were really good. I mean, kind of taking on the ideals of the rigors and the heartbreak of war. You know, this kind of trench type, which I like, trench type warfare, those type of things. And they didn't really shirk away from violence. I mean, they were blowing things up, and I mean, we're showing like gratuitous blood and all that type of stuff. But I mean, they killed them all the time on there,
right?
And so
they were just clones.
Yeah. I'm ready to see it. This Disney service seems like it is going to be, if it stands the truth, and the streaming service is worth its weight as far as like how good the product is. And I'm not talking about the shows. I'm talking about, is it going to crash? Is it going to lock up on you? Because the CW's got an app, and
we'll get there. We'll get there next podcast. We're going all streaming.
So I'm ready to see it. That just sold me out. We were already sold on him. Carla is ready. Susie wants it because of the low key stuff. We'll talk about it in the next
Quantum
one.
Loki, buddy.
But yeah, when they announced that they're going to do a Star Wars Clone Wars revival on there, and Disney's like, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, I'm definitely on board for that, because I'd like to see him put the whole thing on there. I'd like to see him even put like Rebels on there. I hope Rebels is on there, because I never got to watch it.
And I heard it had a really good last season.
The thing is, I wanted to watch it, but the way Disney does their stuff is you never could find it. It was always, well, it's on at 9 tonight. Next week it's going to be on at 6. Right. And they just always did crazy stuff.
It's not going to be on for 2 months.
And so I never really got into it, but I'd really like to see it. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I'm psyched about Clone Wars coming out.
Yeah. The other piece of news we got was that Star Wars said after Rise of Skywalker comes out, there's going to be a break on Star Wars films for a few years. No more one right after the other. They're going to take a pause, kind of regroup, probably let the TV series on the Disney app really grow and maybe, branch out before they decide where to go to next. I assume the Rian Johnson trilogy is still on the books, quote unquote, when it's supposed to be nothing to do with the Skywalkers.
Well, the other trilogy they announced a long time ago was the Game of Thrones guys were going to do a trilogy.
Right.
So they might be waiting for them to finish all that up.
Yeah.
Before they start working on that.
So we'll have to see where Star Wars ends up going, but they definitely look they're taking a pause and a break. So the rumored Obi-Wan movie, might not be happening. The second Solo movie, the possible Boba Fett flick, all of that stuff is definitely now not a defined going to happen. But that's where we're at with Star Wars. And now for about 5 minutes, we'll allow some Star Wars fan theories for the Rise of Skywalker. Just please don't just go full ruin the whole movie, okay? All right. But Aaron, we'll let you start first.
So my big thing is the title. What is that referencing? The obvious one that everybody thinks is that Rey's going to be a Skywalker, and that's what it's referring to. I think it's a reference to Kylo Ren, like him finding redemption. This is him kind of accepting his lineage, and I'm trying not to spoil too much. But then the third idea I've heard is that Skywalkers will be the new name of what replaces the Jedi Order. It'll be like they'll be
called Skywalkers or whatever.
Be like Jethro Tull.
Yeah. John, theories?
Only real theory I have is I think that what's going to happen is they're going to play in the because at the end of Last Jedi, and I said that one of the things they're going to have to fix is the ideal of the Resistance. And I think what you're going to see here is they will play that up, is because at the end of the Resistance, like, no one's coming. They all got our symbol or our signal, and nobody's coming to help us because nobody cares. Yeah. And I think what's going to happen is that what will spark that, or ignite that the spark that ignites a whatever Paul said at the end of the movie is going to be Leia's death. I think that these outer systems will rally around what's left of the Resistance due to that fact that she died in some heroic way. They're going to have to do it heroically, and so that's my theory. That's the only theory I have. I don't really have anything on the Skywalker name or anything yet because I haven't seen enough of it. But I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll bring the Resistance back together or bring people into Resistance through her death, and that's how it'll grow.
Here's my only theory is that, kind of building on what Aaron said, maybe Kylo makes some kind of redemptive moment. What's left of the Empire or the First Order ends up uniting with the rebellion, and they have to work together to take down the Emperor and his forces, the Knights of Ren.
That's actually not a bad theory.
Yeah.
And I'll just be vague on what I think is going on with Rey. I think that Kylo may not have been lying entirely about her lineage.
Okay, we'll see.
That's got to be fast.
They've got, like, even if he wasn't lying, they're going to address it and make it better in some way.
You will definitely know where Rey, either her parents were or where she came from or whatever. They will definitely answer that question. There's no way they don't answer that question.
Yeah, she was the child of a Jawa
and a Rancor.
I will say this: a long time ago, they announced that Kerry Russell was in the movie, and then they've said nothing else about that.
Felicity.
So whether she was Luke's girlfriend or something, or
Luke took
something else.
A vow of celibacy.
Yes. Oh, God.
That's why the Force hernia killed him.
Yeah.
Lots of pent up aggression,
like the Iron Fist or whatever.
I'm Danny Rand, and I've taken a vow of celibacy. Look at my Iron Fist.
It glows.
All right, here, April 12th through 14th. Box office top 10 tonight. That's all we're doing. Number 10, Best of Enemies, $2,014,126.
I don't know what that movie is.
I have no clue.
Aaron?
We don't have Charlie here tonight, so
What was it called?
Best of Enemies?
Best of Enemies.
Is that a comedy?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Number 9, The Missing Link, made $5,944,000. That looks like garbage, but whatever.
Hugh Jackman's in that one.
I don't care. It's still those movies are so dumb.
And that one guy that everybody loved in The Hangover.
I don't know.
Zach Galifianakis. Best of Enemies is civil rights. Oh, it's basically the Green Book.
Oh, okay.
But it's about a civil rights activist that ends up or turning a guy.
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
Aaron just blew up the podcast. He's like, yeah, I know.
Ah!
Number 8, After, $6,002,349. That's well rounded off. Number 7, Us, $6,810,000. A grand total of $163,362,000 with a budget of about $20 million. So not bad. Number 6, Captain Marvel, $8,611,000 for a grand total of $386 million. Dumbo, coming in at number 5, $9,404,000. Number 4, and I've had some people say this movie's terrible, Pet Sematary.
Really?
Charlie put his kibosh on it. He was like, no, it's horrible.
Really?
He went and saw it. $9,745,000 for that one. But still, $21 million budget's made $40 million, so it's making it. Number 3, I can't believe this one's as high because people are saying it's just hot garbage too. It's Hellboy. $12,045,000 this week.
Oh my gosh, it looks so bad.
Well, with a $50 million budget, it ain't gonna look all that great. I mean, it's like a Hot Topic mask.
It is. It's like hard R too, man. Just the Red Band trailer was just like.
I don't want to see it.
Make your ears bleed.
Ron Perlman, where are you? Number 2, Little, $15,405,000, and number 1, with a bullet, Shazam.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even get to go on my Shazam rant.
$24,453,000 for a grand total of $94,226,000, and it had a budget of $100 million. So it hasn't even made budget yet. So
Shazam.
But of course, as you all always like to say, it's really going to pick up traction overseas, and so that's what we got here. That is your can't talk. That is your box office top 10, April 12th through 14th, 2000.
Shazam rant for a moment. I got to tell you, I love Zachary Levi. he was just not right for this role.
I said that from way back.
The suit, it looks amazing, except for it's on him. It looks like somebody. It looks like a little kid, not even a little kid. It looks like a lanky teenage kid walked into a castle, got a suit of armor and put it on, and it doesn't fit him.
I said that. We and Brian were saying that from way back. We were totally right.
Jeez, it's terrible.
I'm not a fan.
I felt
DC just needs to hang it up, man.
I just stared at my phone in the movie, waiting. Like, how much longer is this movie?
I watched Aquaman.
Yeah.
I told Carla, so the sad thing is that Jason Momoa
Yeah.
is not the worst part of the movie. So he's not the worst part.
Shazam was 2 minutes long, and it was every second of 2 hours long. I'm sorry, it was 2 hours long, and it was every second of 2 hours.
When every minute drags into an hour.
Oh my gosh! I was like, "Is this movie over? Please let it end." My biggest gripe is Shazam as a kid was this kind of loner. Billy Batson was kind of this loner. I don't want to be in this family kid. He turns into Shazam and he's just like a wacky goofball.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. And it's like, it's totally two different people. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. I hated it. On that note.
There it is.
I'm sorry, Brent. I'm sorry.
I don't have any flashy.
Brian would say, see you later, players. And Aaron would say,
please, JJ Abrams, don't screw this up.
you're our only hope.
I guess I'll take over Charlie's part. You can catch us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, and back on YouTube
Yeah.
every other week. So thank everybody for listening.